Good afternoon, South Africa. Thank you so much for joining us today on Afternoon Express. Hope you've had a great day and are looking forward to enjoying this show, we're discussing one of my favorite topics, parenting. And later on, we have an occupational therapist and parenting expert, Megan Foray, joining us in the loft. She has a best-selling author of a range of parenting books, including Baby Sense, Sleeping Sense, and Pregnancy Sense, all about parenting sense. She'll be taking your questions live. So if you have anything regarding parenthood that you'd like to ask, be sure to comment on our Facebook page, tweet us at Afternoon Chat, or call us live on 021-430-9881. Plus, we also chat to a blogger, Jonelle Du Pont, who was going through a perfectly normal pregnancy until she almost died with her baby due to an unforeseen medical complication. She shares her story with us today. But first up, we explore parenting from a different angle. After learning that she had stage 4 of endometriosis, Anemike Swart was told that she would struggle to conceive children naturally. Not being deterred by this diagnosis, she explored her options and discovered artificial insemination. She went through the process and was gifted the birth of her first daughter. A few years later, the Swart family welcomed a new addition to the family, except this time, they got twice as much as they planned for. 2 beautiful twins. Welcome, Anemike.
Thank you very much.
Lovely to have you with us.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah, so tell me about that moment when you discovered when you were diagnosed with endometriosis stage 4.
Yes.
And what is it, and what are the symptoms that it presents with?
Endometriosis is a condition where the endometrial tissue that lines the inside of your uterus travels back through the fallopian tubes to your body, to the inside of your body, and then embeds itself on other organs like the outside of your womb or the ovaries, and yeah, that's why it has such a great impact on your fertility. Yeah.
And what were the symptoms you were experiencing, and what was it that you felt like, okay, now I've got to go to the doctor? Was it the symptoms, or was it when you were trying to fall pregnant that you discovered?
I actually went in for just a standard procedure, and then I was diagnosed by accident, or actually by luck.
You were just doing a standard checkup.
And
so important to do those checkups.
Yeah, I was in the hands of a great gynecologist, and he saw that he had some concerns, and because I actually didn't have any.
You didn't have any symptoms.
Because apparently I have a very high pain threshold, because the symptoms that goes with endometriosis, especially stage 4, which is the worst case of endometriosis, is extreme pain during your menstrual cycle.
Yes, yes.
And I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know anything was wrong. Yeah.
So then you obviously were wanting to fall pregnant and start a family. What were the options that were presented to you in terms of what you could do?
Because I was aware of my condition, we decided to immediately start fertility treatment. And like I said, the gynecologist is a great fertility specialist, actually. And he suggested that we do an operation, which is called a laparoscopy, where they remove as much as possible of the endometriosis, and then immediately after the operation we would start with artificial insemination. Right. The success rate of artificial insemination is only between 13% and 20%. So the plan was to do 6 artificial inseminations, and if all of them failed, IVF would be the next step, which is more intense. And
is it more intense?
And has a higher success rate. So
okay, so because I was about to ask, why did you then opt for the artificial insemination versus just going for IVF right away, knowing that it has a higher success rate?
Yeah. So we were actually just very lucky that we didn't have to go
the IVF
extreme,
route.
to pursue IVF. Yeah.
And just what is the emotional backdrop of all this that you were experiencing? I mean, it can't be easy.
Yeah, it isn't easy.
Having to go into the gynae all the time and having these emotional ups and downs. What was it like?
Yeah, it is quite intense. Because it's an intense process with a lot of blood tests and scans, and there's a lot of uncertainty because you don't know what the outcome is going to be. Yeah, are you going to be able to fall pregnant or not? So yeah.
Was there ever a time where you felt like, you know, let me just accept that I might not be able to have children and just live with it and give up and not go through all this trouble?
We were quite lucky because my second try at artificial insemination worked the first time around. So I think I felt pregnant before I really hit it down low. And,
yes.
Yeah.
And then later you were blessed with twins.
Yes. A double blessing.
Double blessing. How did that go? I mean, how did the process of falling pregnant with twins go this time?
Well, a year after my first daughter's birth, we decided it's time for number 2. So we pursued the whole process again. And you would think it's easier the second time around, but it's just as hard.
It's
because
just as
if
hard.
you really want to have a baby, and you don't know if you're going to be able to have, even if it is another one, it's still tough. But yeah, the second time around we were lucky. I felt pregnant the first time, but that ended in a very early miscarriage. So 2 attempts after
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. And that's also part of the journey.
So you were going for a second one, but you actually were going for a third one. So
yes.
Well done.
And then 2 attempts after the miscarriage, I fell pregnant with the twins.
With the twins, yes.
Yes.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for persevering and coming to share your story with us.
Thank you for having me.
You're not going away. We'll have you later on in the show and see what advice you have for parents who are going through something similar. Now, coming up after the break, we're in the kitchen and we've got special guest, food blogger Loyiso Mtoba, to show us how to make a lunchbox classic, the perfect egg mayo sandwich. Plus, we meet Jonelle Du Pont, a mother who was going through a perfectly normal pregnancy until she almost died with her baby due to an unforeseen medical complication. We'll be right back.
Cream-O-Nays, creamy till the last drop, made with love by Clover.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us back on Afternoon Express. We're live on SABC3. And as I mentioned before the break, I said we're going to be making a lunchbox classic. Think white bread, hard-boiled eggs, and creamy and delicious mayo. There are a few things more delicious than a classic egg mayonnaise sandwich. Today, Loiso takes us through this classic to new levels with the creamy, rich taste of clover creaminaise, the only dairy-based mayonnaise, and a few other choice ingredients. Don't forget to get all the ingredients for this recipe by SMSing the keyword clover to 33650. So, should we get started?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, we're making a lunchbox classic.
Yeah.
You look like you're not even old enough to make your own lunchbox.
I am quite, yeah, I am old enough. I mean, yeah, I'm a food blogger and everything, and I love making sandwiches and like exploring with different things.
Yeah.
And I think creaminaise is a knockout product, which is absolutely awesome. Like, it has cream, and it's just an awesome product that I love using as well.
You swear by it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And also, I mean, one of the reasons why I'll tell you, I'll confess something. One of the reasons why I stay away from egg mayo sandwiches is because they can get so pungent. Because egg has a strong smell, and then if you combine it with mayo that smells strong, then sure.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But apparently creaminaise doesn't have a smell at all.
No, not at all. Creaminaise, clover, really, like I said, it's an awesome product. It has no eggs whatsoever, just cream and mayonnaise and creamy smoothie. It's just the perfect product. Yeah.
Cool. Should we get started? Show me what you got.
So, Bonnie, what you can do here is you can put these eggs inside here.
Do you want me to chop them?
No, well, chop. Yeah, you can. No. You're just going to put them inside there.
Just put them in here.
Crush them roughly. I'd like them roughly and everything.
Can I use a fork?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
While you're doing that, I'll put these slices here. So.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. Okay, you can use this as well.
Yeah, we're very well boiled. I love...
Yeah, they've been boiled for 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Is that like the traditional time that you should boil an egg?
Well, it depends actually. It depends if maybe you want your egg like really soft on the inside or just absolutely like hard boiled.
So it's basically should be 10 minutes or less so that they don't get that blue ring.
The greyish colour in it. I'll add some salt and pepper into it.
Okay, cool.
Great.
What made you want to be a food blogger?
I started at the age of 9 years old, to be honest. I was, with my gran. She taught me basically everything about cooking. Aww. And I was like, hey, yeah.
We love grans.
Absolutely, gran, yeah, absolutely. So I'm adding some celery. So what I like about this egg mayo sandwich, which is so perfect, is that it's not your traditional egg mayo sandwich. Yeah. So you can actually go wild with it, adding celery to it, making it very nice, very tasty as well.
Is that radish?
Radish, sorry, radish.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got celery, you've got radish in there.
Salt and peppers in there as well.
Okay,
now the creaminaise, clover, the star of the dish.
The star.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man of the match. Okay.
Cool. So we're going to add a bit there.
Generous amounts of it.
Yeah, I don't like it very much because you get your egg mayo will be a bit soggy and all that. And everything. So you just
don't like adding a lot?
No, not a lot at all. Cool. And then I'll put this over here.
Okay. All right. And is it ready to go on our bread?
Not yet. So we're just going to lay our slices of bread.
Okay.
With some lettuce there. Make it look really nice.
Of course.
Absolutely. That thing about food blogging is like a food
it's all about the look, right?
The look as well. Yeah, I mean, you can play with props and everything as well.
That's definitely a look. So
cool,
can I put some on?
Absolutely, yeah. So you're just going to put your spoon in there.
Spoon would be better.
Absolutely, yeah. Cool. And another thing with this product is it's very versatile. I mean, you can put your... I don't know, what I would do, I'd add like spices into this, like, you know, when I'm cooking around the house for my mom and my family, basically, because I grew up cooking for mom, dad, cousins and everything. So I put my spices in here and boom, bang, I have like
you mean repurpose the container?
Yes.
I love that about creaminaise.
Cool.
There we go.
That's the whole
I'd
dish.
add a bit of pepper to that, and I think it's good to be eaten.
And obviously don't forget garnishing it as well. Yeah, I mean, garnishing it so it's all nice and pretty.
Okay, perfect. Just a reminder, the keyword to this recipe is clover. SMS that keyword to 33650. Wow. Yummy. Now, if today's sandwich wasn't enough to quell your hunger, you need to get yourself to Maponya Mall in Soweto, where Clover Cremonese will attempt to set a new Guinness World Record for the longest line of sandwiches this coming Saturday. Catch food bloggers and the assorted celebrities, including our very own Jeannie D, who will help create a line of sandwiches for kilometers long. Once complete, the sandwiches will be handed to lucky audience members and go to Baragwanath Hospital, Chalk, and Gift of the Givers to feed those in need. What a great initiative. Support this incredible event and find out more by following Cremonese on social media.
Cremonese, creamy till the last drop, made with love by Clover.
Now it's time to turn to some summer style as we continue with an exciting competition on Afternoon Express today. The grand prize, a 500,000 rand, a 500 rand Woolworths gift card to spend as you see fit, possibly on some of the Afternoon Express wardrobe items, all of which are available at Woolies. And how do you get yourself in the running? Well, easy. Get on your mobile device right now and download the new Woolworths app. Once on, scroll down to the As Seen on Afternoon Express or Expresso Fashion Carousel, and by swiping right or left, choose your favorite item from this week's presenter wardrobe. Once chosen, take a screenshot of the item and then post your screenshot as a reply on the competition on our Afternoon Express show Facebook page. So make sure you download the app and enter yourself into this oh so stylish competition, a chance to win a fantastic gift voucher and to get your pick of your favorite Afternoon Express presenters looks. And if you'd like a link to download the app sent straight to your phone, then simply SMS the keyword app to 33650 for the App Store link. Or if you're an Android user, SMS the keyword play to 33650. SMSs are R1.50 each and no free SMSs apply. Competition to end Thursday at 11:59. T's and C's apply. Now, juggling a full-time career with being a mom can be really tough. Ask me, I know all about it. And as fulfilling as it can be, and according to Parenting with Sense, parenting expert Meg Foray, there really is no way to truly find a balance. But by giving your kids the tools and the life lessons they need and instilling core values is what good parenting is about. Meg Foray invited us into her home to answer 8 unexpected parenting questions that we wanted to find out more about.
Hello Meg, how's your day going?
Good, thanks, and you?
Good, thank you. Are you ready to give us some parenting advice today?
I don't know about parenting advice, but I'll give you some insights into my parenting life. Come through, I'm just finishing off an email.
So how do you find a balance between work and parenting?
Oh, I guess any working mother's going to tell you there isn't such a thing as a balance. Some days you're dropping the kid balls and some days you're dropping the work balls. I suppose my biggest secret would be to be very organised. I mean, I live by my diary, things get scheduled carefully, and that's usually how I do it.
So in a world consumed in social media, what is your take on parents uploading pictures of their children?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's very personal. My sister, for instance, doesn't upload any of her children's pictures onto social media. I do. I'm very proud of my kids. But I have very stringent privacy settings on board, you know, so I make sure that on both Facebook and Instagram, nobody can really troll or find out too much about my kids. Do you want to meet my kids? They're actually here today. Hey, come on. That's my youngest daughter, Emily, and her best friend, Geordie.
If your kids could describe you in 3 words, what would they be?
I don't know, Ems, what would they be?
Loving, supportive, and all about the family.
Probably all about the family is definitely true.
Something you decide who your children's friends are going to be, or do they decide for themselves?
When they're little, I think I had a big influence on who they were friends with. I mean, Geordie's mom was my best friend and we were pregnant together, and so they've known each other since they were born, and so that was a natural friendship that developed. But then as they move into the teen years, they certainly do start to choose their own friends. Ems, why don't you please take this dog off the couch?
Have you ever caught yourself repeating something your parents used to say?
What, like take the dog off the couch? That and pick up your towels. But seriously, and it's things like work hard in life, because if you do work hard, you're likely to get very far. That was definitely a principle that my parents kind of put into place for me, yeah.
What was one thing you wish someone told you when you found out you were going to be a mother?
Well, for a start, that breastfeeding doesn't always come naturally. I just thought I'd naturally fall into it, but actually it really was quite difficult for me. And then also, hey girls.
They're my favorite.
Do you think you also take a piece of fruit? Yeah. Yeah, and then also that perfection is not to be attained in motherhood. You know, we come into our life as moms, having been career women, where things go according to plan. Well, in motherhood, things don't go according to plan, and I wish somebody told me that, so I didn't try and be perfect with my first son.
When it comes to educating children about blended families, what is the best way to do this?
You know, with most things in life, it's more about what you do than what you say. So, I mean, my husband and I have a very fluid marriage, and that some days he's picking up the pieces with the kids and doing the lifts, and other days I'm wearing the pants. So I think, you know, with blended families, divorced homes, single-sex marriages, the way kids have to know that life happens, and that parents pick up pieces and they cover for each other, and that's what's important.
What's the coolest or most rewarding thing about being a mother?
I guess seeing the world through my children's eyes. I mean, like the first Christmas when the child sees the Christmas tree and the Father Christmas, it brings it all back to you about your own life. And so seeing the world through their eyes as we travel with them has been really rewarding. And then also the life lessons of things don't have to be perfect, and that I'm an okay mom even when I fail sometimes. Those are the things that kids teach you, and it does make you a better person.
Discover new Baker's Good Morning Breakfast Biscuits, Best Baked by Baker's.
Wow, I actually just loved that conversation. So much great advice. Jonelle Du Pont is a blogger, writer, and has a passion for job creation and helping the unemployed. She lives in Cape Town with her husband, Gerard, and in 2015, they were on their way to having a perfectly smooth pregnancy. Then, when she went into labor, complications arose, and she almost lost her own life. Welcome to the Loft. Lovely to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Right, so you describe your pregnancy as a by-the-book pregnancy.
Everything was so straightforward. Just actually thought I couldn't conceive naturally, and that was a surprise. So from the beginning, it just happened with luck, and I had no terrible cravings. I didn't have bad morning sickness.
Whoa.
Things were just, it was really easy.
just smooth sailing.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy being pregnant, but it wasn't difficult.
Okay, and then come Labor Day, you get a few speed bumps just coming at you at the speed of light.
Actually didn't realize I was having contractions because it didn't feel like what I was told contractions would feel like. It was just this one constant pain. So I got in a bath.
So it was just painful the whole time?
Yeah.
Although, I mean, for me, contractions felt like it was painful the whole time. As I recall, I was told that, no, there were breaks in between. I don't even remember the breaks. But it was just like you're saying, you just felt like this constant pain.
Yeah, the ride to the hospital. Like, I got in a bath because I thought, nope, this will go away after a while because this is not contractions.
Yeah.
My husband got home and said, we're going to the hospital right now. I got there and they actually thought I had a placental abruption. They thought my womb, the baby was like struggling. They thought he was in danger.
Okay.
And they rushed me into an emergency C-section, and that alone was difficult. I've got really strong stomach muscles from horse riding, and they couldn't get him out, and they were tugging and pulling. And eventually he came out, and he was rushed into NICU because he had a suspected...
And how are you feeling through all of this? Are you panicking?
I was so confused. I didn't know where my husband was because he was getting changed, and they had raced me in without him being there. So I was by myself. I was so stressed, and yeah, and then he was born, and he was blue, and that's not the thing you want to see, that your baby doesn't, change colour. He was blue, and they took him into the NICU, and they wrapped me up, and I thought it was fine. But 4 days later, I still had the most excruciating pain that you shouldn't have after a C-section, and they discharged me, and I refused to leave. I was like, you have to see what's wrong with me.
Whoa. And at this stage, you'd seen your baby was fine.
He was okay. He'd been in the NICU the whole time.
Pain.
Yeah. Turned out I'd had a burst appendix. It wasn't actual contractions. That's why it didn't feel like normal contractions. But they didn't know that. And to make it even worse, when they were tugging him out, I have endometriosis, and we didn't know that because it was undiagnosed, and my colon had fused to my uterus and it ripped open. And they didn't know that either. So they fixed the appendix, and I was put in ICU, and it was really not good. And I was scheduled for a regular wash out the next day. But when they opened me up, and I was cut open from top to bottom, they opened me up, I was completely septic. My body was full of, what's in your colon. So, yeah, things were really...
This is crazy. And what's crazy for me is listening to the story and hearing you say what they didn't know, and then another thing they didn't know. Where's this hospital so that none of us go there?
But I'm alive. They're an amazing hospital. I have to thank them because I'm alive because of them.
Sure. But I'd love to hear more, and a little bit later you'll be back on the couch and you can just tell us how you went through your recovery process and what kept you going.
Great.
Yeah. So after the break, we're back in the kitchen and Chef Clem has something savory, sticky and sweet in store for us. Moroccan lamb ribs. Yummy. Welcome back to Afternoon Express. It wouldn't be a splendid afternoon in the loft without some great cooking in the kitchen. Now, quick, fast-free and delicious meals are convenient go-tos, and Clem is the king of them. And today we're drawing inspiration from North Africa with all gold sticky Moroccan lamb riblets. They are Moorish, deliciously sticky and bursting with flavor, and they are going to ruin my detox. And we're sure you'll love them as much as we do. Make sure you have serviettes on standby for these mouth-watering treats.
Forget about the serviette, you're gonna need a hose pipe. When you're done, you stand outside, you ask someone to hose you down, okay? Because this is all about the sauce.
I'm so excited.
Let's talk about it.
I love riblets. Okay, so what are we doing?
I mean, and riblets are so South African, don't you think? Like yes, lamb
definitely,
ribs. I mean, I don't, yeah.
My worst though is when I'm braaiing them and then they fall through those, the grid, and then they fall into the fire.
I would
onto
cry.
The coals.
I
do. I literally almost cry.
No. That's not gonna happen today.
So I always put them across the
there
grid.
There we go,
yeah.
exactly. So in this bowl, I've got some honey.
Okay.
Some lemon.
Okay.
I'm just going to chuck, now I'm going to keep it on the side, I'll show you what I'll do with them in a bit. Then I've got some harissa paste, and here's where our Moroccan element. It's so good. So it's packed full of chili and then some cinnamon in there, also like nice warmness. Yeah. So that's going to go in there. That's our Moroccan element in.
Okay.
But that's the end with the Moroccan element. Now we're going back to South Africa.
We're bringing it back.
Bring on the all gold. Okay. There we go. Some all gold barbecue sauce, and this stuff is the business. Okay, if you can't braai for whatever reason, I can't braai at home, my little tiny apartment, not allowed to, here's the braai, right here. Okay,
this brings the braai.
That brings the braai. Into our bowl, that's a very accurate amount. All right.
It's like just keep going amount.
Just keep going amount.
Just gooi.
That's exactly what it is. And then one of my favorite sounds in the world, let's see if I can get this. You hear that, you hear that. That's it, exactly.
That's the one.
All gold tomato sauce going in, and did you know, that color is real. There's no coloring added to it, and there's no preservatives. That's all tomato goodness.
It's real, and it's not pink.
No,
it's red.
It's red. There we go. That's right. So can you get it a mix for me real quick?
Okay,
and I'm going to take this and I'm going to show you my rack of lamb, okay? Beautiful, beautiful South African Karoo lamb, the best in the world. And you got to get like on the bone.
We love lamb from the Karoo.
We do.
We love it.
So I'm going to add a little bit of water to that because it's going to go into the oven for about an hour and a half.
How much water? Just a few drops?
Perfect. So what you can do is mix it all up. You pour it over your lamb.
Oof.
Okay. That's going to go to the oven. You're going to forget about it, right? An hour and a half. So let's put this to the side. What's going to happen?
It's easy for me to forget about stuff in the oven, especially if I'm watching TV.
You'll be forgiven with this one. So what happens is they come out super delicious like this. And you know what the test is? If you can pull the bone out.
Yeah, show me.
Okay, let's see. Okay.
I want to see you pass this test.
Pressure.
Do it.
Okay, let's go.
Pressure. Oh my goodness.
The bone came right out. Okay, cool. It's done. But now, at the bottom of the pan, all the beautiful juice is collected. What I've done is I put it in a little pot. Okay.
You did not.
I deglazed it a little bit, reduced it.
You reduced it. Wow, you need to bottle the sauce.
You know what? I think we'll chat to the guys at All Gold. We need to bottle this.
Yeah.
So all that delicious, tangy tomato flavor has gone back into the lamb again.
This is insane. You've just ruined my detox, and I will gladly ruin it for this. Thank you.
There we go. There we go.
Absolutely delicious. If you missed any of this delicious recipe, here's a quick recap.
Bottle crammed full of goodness.
Isn't that glorious? Now, the keyword for that recipe is gold. SMS that keyword to 33650 for the recipe and the list of ingredients. SMSs cost R1.50, no free SMSs apply. Now, All Gold is celebrating its colorful heritage by inviting you to unleash your creativity on the limited edition bottle microsite housed on the All Gold website at www.allgold.co.za. Look out for the 2 limited edition bottles at your local store. They are hashtag crammed full of goodness, and there are only 2 million limited edition bottles. Plus, you could win a one-of-a-kind prize. Design your own limited edition bottle, like this one, on the All Gold microsite, and you could be one of 4 lucky winners to have their online design printed on an All Gold sleeve. Visit www.allgold.co.za for more information. Now, after the break, we've got parenting expert Meg Fora here to answer your questions and so many of mine. So call us now on 021 430 9881. Don't go away. Welcome back. Now, Clover knows how important your child's diet is to you, which is why we're so excited to have New and Trish with us today. The Clover kids are giving you a chance to take home a hamper containing some delicious NutriKids product. All you have to do is head over to our Facebook page, find our competition post, and answer this simple question. What are the names of the 2 kids from the NutriKids family? Remember that the T's and C's apply and can be found on afternoonexpress.co.za. High five. Afternoon Express recently met up with Simon Bray, a private property CEO, for an update on the Winner Home Show progress and what else we can look forward to on the show.
Search for a home on any device, anytime, anywhere. Private property, a home for everyone.
Season 4 of Winner Home has been incredible so far. I think it's unbelievable to see what the design duos have been able to accomplish in the spaces that have been provided. I think the estate has been remarkable. You know, who knew that such a jewel could be in the middle of the south of Joburg? Obviously, Eye of Africa is a beautiful estate and it's the location for the homes themselves. But estate living is such a trend in South Africa right now, something that's incredibly popular on the website as well. So it was good to cruise around with the Winner Home team and actually profile various estates and the various lifestyle opportunities, security features, and reasons why people would choose to live in those estates. There's a lot to like about the Eye of Africa estate that's hosting this year's competition. It's so much more than just a golf estate. You know, it's easy to look at the kind of drone footage and the overlays and you're fixated on the golf course and the beautiful homes. But I think the lifestyle component is what's really going to draw people in. In fact, our units are not even a minute's walk from this beautiful old converted building that's now a deli and a restaurant, a beautiful deck wraparound, and you get the opportunity to kind of stroll there with your family and enjoy a social day out. And I think that's the type of lifestyle that's going to draw people in. In fact, I think it was one of our property experts that was talking about the value of estates and why the value of property inside of estates can grow so much more than those suburbs outside. And it really has got to do with this exclusive community component. The fact that there's only a certain number of houses, and once those are all sold, the value can only go up, because people want to come in. And the things that draw people in are those unique lifestyle opportunities. The website, we see tremendous excitement when the show airs. Plenty calls to come and enter on the competition pages, and you can understand, I mean, it's a phenomenal prize. This year, the fact that we've got design duos instead of just solo acts has made a really exciting component to the show. I think it's added life and energy. When you first look at Brad and a beer, boom! You're going to get something different. You're going to get something energetic and unusual. But throughout the show, they've actually brought some interesting ideas to the mix, and I think overall they're bringing their own brand and their own polish to the show.
Welcome to the jungle! Welcome!
What I've enjoyed about Tempo and Lesejo is the fact that they've injected this persona and this character into the designs that they do. We do that here at Private Property. If we're designing a user interface, we try and understand who we're designing it for. And so I think that's quite a cool idea. And then I've really enjoyed the combination of Tsepo and Benele. I think there's this artistic and technical element that you see in their team. I think Tion even referred to it in one of the episodes.
For me, the strength is the combination of Tsepo's technical background in interior design and Benele's artistic vision for rooms. That's their winning formula.
So very, very good to see the various teams, how different they are, and how passionate they are about achieving the goal of winning this competition. And in fact, even the mentors are getting pulled into that team. I'm starting to enjoy them as much as part of the team as the designers themselves.
They're young, they're creative, and they think young.
You've used one chandelier, I think it's enough.
Yeah, the sponsors this year have been incredible. We've got some of the best names in interior decor products available for the homes. They've been spending their own budgets, and the value of the products added and combined with that budget means that it's well over 600,000 rands worth of value being added to these homes. The judges this year, I think it's a great mix of experience and insight, particularly in the interior design space, in the interior design world. I mean, I had 3 seasons as a judge, so I know how difficult it can be to walk into these beautiful rooms and then you're asked to tear it to shreds. It's lovely to see Donald, our design winner from season 1, being in the show. I think he's grown so much in the period of time. I'd like to think Winner Home was very much the birthing of that design talent. And he's adding a great level of insight to these new contestants on a weekly basis. Claire coming from the Plascon side, from the colour and trend side, I think is doing an amazing job.
That mirror, recipe for babies.
And it's quite a nice mix-up to have a new, fresh face every week as a guest judge, because I think that keeps the contestants on their toes. They never really know what to expect. I know certainly in previous seasons we'd have a little bit of a same-same with the judges each week, and contestants would start to adjust their patterns to what they thought we would like. Whereas I think now you've got this freshness that keeps them exploring the limits, which is good. There's so much still to happen in this competition, particularly the living room and the open plan kitchen, how those two hang together. I mean, that's always pivotal in any home. We see it on the property marketing side, how important it is that your living space, your entertainment space becomes the heart of the home. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they move through those challenges. I think there's still a lot more drama to come. I think we certainly haven't seen the last tears and laughter and nails bitten in this competition, so it's going to be very interesting to see how we see the run-in. And we can't forget that at the end of this, there's going to be a viewer, somebody that's presumably on the couch watching the show right now, that's entered this competition, that's going to be the lucky winner of one of these homes, and they're going to get to walk into one of the 3, choose it as their own. And I think that's always, for me, the most exciting part of the show is the big handover. So that's what's at stake here. It's a massive prize. I mean, Danilo stands up every week and says it's the biggest prize on TV, and it certainly is. So it's going to be great giving that away again. Certainly not something that I ever get blasé about, that we can be a part of something so big. And for a business like Private Property, which is all about marketing beautiful homes, it makes sense to be partnering with a show that gives one away. So we're very excited for that part of the show.
Private Property, a home for everyone.
I hope you're dreaming big, because that could be you. And today we talked about pregnancy and parenthood from a variety of different angles. We learned about artificial insemination, and we heard the powerful story of Jonelle, who went through 6 surgeries to give birth to her son. We're back now with Jonelle, Anemike, and parenting expert Meg Forer, who recently released a brand new book called Weaning Sense. And well, the one I've got is called Pregnancy Sense, but she's just released a brand new book called Weaning Sense, and it focuses on the crucial period in your child's development where they learn how to eat solid foods. And remember, if you have any questions for our expert, then give us a call now on 021-430-9881. Make sure you get your questions in before I do, because I've got a whole lot of questions. Welcome, Megan.
Thanks, Fanny.
So just to pick up earlier on the conversation we last left off with Jonelle, you went through 6 surgeries to actually eventually be okay. And do you now feel like you're well on your road to a good enough parenting journey?
Yeah, it was a really tough start, but I love being a mom, and it's not always easy, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. I would go through everything all over again to have my son. He's worth every second.
Wow. And what was the emotional journey? I don't want to like sweep over it all, because it must have been harrowing. And did you feel like you were going to make it through it when those surgeries you just kept on happening?
I feel like I didn't have a choice. You know, I looked at my son and I was like, I'm going to get through this because he needs a mom, and that's me. So you do what you have to do. And I was lucky to have really good surgeons and really good health care, and a lot of moms don't get that. But I just felt like I had to fight for him.
Absolutely. And of course, Anemike earlier on shared her journey of artificial insemination and how she's got 3 lovely bundles now. But you also, Megan, have a chapter.
Yeah, one of the sections in Pregnancy Sense looks at the emotional aspect. I think, first of all, we're not prepared for the emotional aspect as pregnant women before we have our first child at all. But more so actually with infertility. I mean, it is such a harrowing journey of loss and grief, despair and depression, and then hope. And then loss again, exactly like you experienced when you finally fall pregnant with this precious baby, and then you lose it, with a miscarriage. And so it's a journey that a lot of people don't talk about, and it happens behind closed doors, and you feel like a failure. So my mother-in-law, actually, Sheila Fora, is quite a well-known psychologist, and I interviewed her on the emotional aspect of loss and infertility, and I've brought that into the book Pregnancy Sense so that we can really identify with the emotional aspect.
Yeah. I watched our insert on you earlier on, and you speak so effortlessly about this parenting. Am I ever supposed to feel like I know what I'm doing? Because I feel like I don't know what I'm doing.
No, and Bonnie, I was awake at 2 o'clock this morning thinking I don't know what I'm doing either, so I don't think we ever know. We do the best we can though, most of us are moms who are doing a good enough job. We're doing our best.
Yeah, I'm settling on this good enough mom thing, and hopefully I don't go to prison for absolutely murdering my kids. Well, we're going to chat a little bit more and unpack some of these ideas. And after the break, we're back with all our guests on the couch, and we're talking parenthood. Remember, if you have any questions for our expert, then give us a call now on 021 430 9881. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Thank you so much for joining us back on Afternoon Express live on SABC3. And we've been talking about fertility issues, endometriosis being one of them. And I have a comment from Anita Sako-Pacure on our Afternoon Express Facebook page. And she says, as a stage 4 endometriosis warrior, I've researched a lot, read up and empowered myself. And the struggle is real and painful and very lonely at times to get your miracle. I salute all women who are so generous in helping other women achieve their dreams of having children. I've been on this journey now for 7 years, almost 7 years, and still no baby, and reconsidering my options now. What advice would you share with Anita and many other women who are listening, who are on this journey and they want to give up, and you know, and I can imagine how expensive it is as well.
Yeah, and that's also part of it, because the expense is massive, and so you put a huge amount of hope into every fertility treatment in the hope that this one is going to be the one that works.
Yeah.
Anemike went through a less expensive version. I mean, by the time you're getting, because artificial insemination is less expensive than IVF, but as soon as you look at the option of IVF, which I'm sure that this lady is, you're into very expensive territory, and it's painful on many levels, because maybe that isn't an option anymore. So she talks about looking at other options. I mean, then maybe you're looking at surrogacy, maybe you're looking at adoption. But, you know, 7 years is far down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. We also have a caller on the line from Valcom, Moche DV. Hello, Moche. Welcome to Afternoon Express. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. And yourself?
I'm very good, thank you. What's your question or comment?
Oh, I'd like to know the process of artificial insemination, as I've been having difficulties to conceive.
Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you.
I think probably they know best.
Yeah. Well, please, all of you jump in.
Yeah, the process of artificial insemination, basically, they monitor your cycle, and you go for a lot of scans. Sometimes medication is necessary to help you ovulate, and then my advice would be to go to a fertility specialist, because every scenario is unique. Yeah, but the artificial insemination process is less intense than the IVF. Like, you don't need to go into theatre, and everything can be done in the doctor's rooms, and that's also why it is less expensive, much less expensive.
So once they've got the woman ovulating, if that's part of the issue, they'll give you medication to do that. Then they actually take the male sperm and put it inside the uterus, so that you've got a really good chance, or close to the uterus, so you've got a really good chance of falling pregnant. So they'll often do that if the man hasn't got good swimmers, for instance. You know, if his sperm doesn't swim well, they'll often do that. Whereas IVF, the baby's actually fertilized outside of the mother's body, and then the fertilized embryos put back into the mom's body.
Yeah. So another prevalent conversation these days is where women are having children at a later age, like over the age of 35, and are considering treatments like freezing their eggs. What are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's massive pros to having babies early, that being one of them, that your fertility is much higher in your 20s than it is in your 30s, and definitely higher than in your 40s.
Yeah, but you're more likely to afford it after 35.
But then you've got a lot of career considerations and expenses. Yeah, so that's why a lot of people do put it off. They want to have a career, they want to travel together as partners before they have babies. But it comes with pros and cons in both directions, but certainly the fertility side of things, definitely babies younger is preferable.
Yeah, absolutely. And the whole freezing of eggs? Have you explored that, and anything to share?
Yeah, I mean, I think that people do freeze eggs, often, usually for medical reasons. So, for instance, if you're going to have cancer treatment, or need to have your ovaries removed, you will then definitely, or even your uterus removed, you'll definitely harvest your eggs, freeze them, put them on ice for a while, and then when you're ready to find a surrogate or to have a baby, you'll then use them then.
Yes. And then now, once you've had your baby and you're well on your way, and you're raising this beautiful human being, I'm asking for a friend. How do you get your kids to listen to you?
I don't know.
To get them to do anything you ask them to do. Because you shared in the insert that it's about passing on values to your children that are going to make sure that they are well-rounded human beings later. How do you know that the values you keep having to repeat to them are actually sinking in.
Yeah, you have to trust the process. I mean, I often, when I get very insecure at times about what I've done in my parenting journey, my husband will often say to me, don't worry, the kids will come back to what they know, who they know, and the values that we've instilled. And those values are really only instilled in the way that you behave in your home as a couple and as a family. And so it's no good to just instruct and shout and scream when they are swinging from the rafters. You know, if you behave like a banshee, which I sometimes do, they're modeling off you. So, but modeling is very, very important for little ones.
It's important, right. Just in closing, ladies, briefly, just share a tip each that you've learned on your parenting journey.
I would say enjoy every moment and don't look into everything that you're doing wrong. Rather, enjoy every moment and, because they really do grow up so quickly.
Very fast, yes. And Jonelle?
Hands down, trust yourself, trust your body. Nobody knows it better than you. If you know that there's something wrong and someone's telling you there's nothing, trust yourself and fight until someone listens to you. And, enjoy it because they grow so quickly. I mean, my son's 2 and it's over before you know it, and then they're big.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, thank you so much, ladies, all for your advice and joining us and sharing us your stories. Very courageous. And for your amazing books. I've bought 2 of your books throughout my pregnancy, and they just really helped me on my way. Thank you so much. Thanks, so don't forget that because we're off air this Friday due to the cricket, tomorrow we bring you the next installment of Winner Home on Afternoon Express. After tomorrow's Winner Home episode, we will only be back on your screens again next week, Wednesday, on the 11th of October. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hope you got some insight and great advice from the show, and enjoy those sticky ribs. I know I will. Thank you so much. Good night and happy eating.
Watch Winner Home on Afternoon Express and follow 3 talented design duos as they transform 3 empty houses into fully decorated luxury homes, one of which you could win.
We'll be bringing you Winner Home one day early on Thursday, the 5th of October. So tune in for double the drama, double the design, and double the action exclusively on SABC3 at 4 p.m.
Fridges aren't in, cupboard doors aren't on. You guys are nowhere near done.
Danilo scares me more than the charges, like, honestly speaking.
So remember, we'll see you at 4 p.m. on SABC3 on Thursday, the 5th of October, for those kitchen reveals.
Everyone will be saying, what the fridge?
Don't miss Winner Home on Afternoon Express. The stage is yours.
Search for a home on any device, anytime, anywhere. Private property, a home for everyone.
Afternoon Express, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.